smrityo kramanena rasana manasi niyogya tishtan braje tad anuragi janagunani kalam nayed akilam ityupadesha sharaha. Okay. Now, Saraswati Thakur, it's a rather long Bengali explanation, which I think I'll just read the English, if that's okay. Yeah. When Krishna's name, form, nature, and pastimes divine are heard from Sri Gurudev, one's heart awakens in song. As pure chanting ensues, remembrance is attained. Thus, chanting and remembering, step by step, is gained. So the poem of Saraswati Thakur in Bengali is being rendered into a poem in English by Bhakti Ananda Sagar Maharaj. Those engaging tongue and mind who begin to relish nectar adore Sri Krishna, following the residence of Braja, reside always in Braja, within the heart's devotion. Surely you must accept this nectar of instruction. Upadesha sharaha, you must accept this. So Saraswati Thakur, is telling us clearly, we hear Krishna's name, form, nature, pastimes divine from the pure mouth of Sri Gurudev. And when that happens, our heart awakens, and we begin to chant in a pure way, and through that chanting, Shravanam Kirtanam, then Vishnu Smaranam, we begin to remember about Krishna and our relationship with Krishna. This Vishnu Smaranam has to do with, not only kind of mentally remembering things that we've read, but it has to do with actually remembering what our relationship with the Lord is. We begin to, this is what we're told. It may be some distance away, but nonetheless we understand that it's a real thing. That as we awaken, that relationship simultaneously also awakens. And we begin to sense, and not only sense, but really know that we are servants. And it's such a happy thing because we realize that we're servants in, a particular mood, in a particular relationship. These things are, going on. And this is what Saraswati Thakur is indicating. We understand that the development goes through the stages of anartha nibriti and nishta, which is kind of a neutral stage. But here Saraswati Thakur tells us that awakening really is an awakening of the relationship with the Lord. But I guess Rupa Goswami clarifies that as to how it actually works, that we go through stages of, shedding our skin, as it were, getting rid of the old stuff that's no longer necessary, and, making a new skin, a new life, a new world that we enter into. Through, all based here, as Saraswati Thakur tells us, on the hearing from Sri Gurudev. And this hearing from Sri Gurudev has to do with, we listen to the direct hearing that we have by Krishna's grace recorded, and we can get through these now through computer stuff on these MP3s, and we can hear directly the words of Srila Gurudev, and otherwise hear the message of Sri Gurudev as given to us through his books. And there's something more potent to receive the message of Sri Gurudev in a living form because of our own conditioning. When things are conveyed from the lips of a living personality, even not necessarily pure, whatever substance that is being transferred through comes through in a very effective way. Of course, this depends on the hearer and the degree of surrender and so many things like that. But generally, we find it like that. When we are sitting in a class, and if we're absorbed in that class, then the potency is felt. I guess maybe because we concentrate more or something. Whereas maybe listening to a tape or there I go, tape. Nobody even knows what a tape is. Listening to a recording, maybe we're more easily distracted. But anyway, the direct sound has great potency. And ultimately, it all comes from Sri Gurudev anyway. It's being transferred, it's being passed down, and we receive the grace from Sri Gurudev according to, how much we ourselves are willing to surrender. And surrender means, giving ourselves, opening ourselves up to the mercy of Sri Gurudev and accepting that we're nothing more than servants. And that's a really happy thing. Even to the small degree that we're able to do it now, and even to the small degree that we were able to do it the first day we walked through the door of a temple, it's a very happy thing. It's so powerful that even first day walking through a temple, a sincere person is going to feel something that's better than everything he's felt before in the material world. And it just works like that. For some people, not everybody, but the fact is the potency of the sound coming from Sri Gurudev has a very deep effect. And someone who's sincere, he's going to get hit by it. And so we have to try to, first understand where the people we're speaking to are, coming from. Understand how we can make a connection with them. Usually it's by becoming their friends, but we can become their friends through vibration also. And, understand their position, feel their position, relate to people in a way in which they can tell that you have feeling for them. And by doing that, their hearts, everybody's afraid that we're going to be exploited. So everybody's got a closed heart. But if somehow we can make them feel like we're their friends, then they'll be, confident to open their heart. And in doing that, then the message of Sri Gurudev will enter them. And like we said before, even if we're not very pure and we're not very good at conveying the message of Sri Guru, if this person is really sincere and really wants this, the potency will come through regardless. This is like the magic of Krishna consciousness, that, it can't be stopped. Even by our own limited conditioning. You can't stop it. If somebody really wants it, he's going to get it slammed with the potency coming straight from Gurudev. It's like that. The heart connection comes through. And that, we know from Narottam Das and from our scriptures and from our gurus. What is it? Anyway, Hriday Prakashito, the transcendental knowledge, Divya Jnana, Hriday Prakashito, the divine knowledge, Divya, jnana is given in the heart by who? Sri Gurudev. That's who he's talking about. So the potency of Sri Gurudev reaches to the conditioned souls through his disciples. And if we try and really give it, then and the person is sincere that we connect with, we should have confidence and faith. All we have to do is try. It doesn't matter that much how expert we are. The real thing is that we, in our hearts, want to give this, and we want to surrender to Gurudev as best we can, even though we're conditioned, and then it will touch them, and people will begin to, like Srila Guru Maharaj has said, this beginning of realization is like a feeling. That's the best it can be described. We feel like, wow, there's something real here. So we want to enable people to get slapped awakened by the potency of our Gurudev. And really, all we have to do is try. So those engaging tongue and mind who begin to relish nectar adore Sri Krishna, following the residence of Braja. So the whole thing comes from there. The potency is in that type of relationship. And it descends to us and, touches us in a particular way. Why? Because we're all attached to particular relationships. But we get hit in exactly the right way based on the vibration coming from the relationships in the transcendental world. If we're attached to husband, wife, son, child, all these different things, we get a feeling of that type of relationship that's in the transcendental world. And not only that, by that feeling, we get to convey something of that spirit of relationship to the people that we have affection for, even on this plane. And in that way, we fulfill our, responsibility as, parents and teachers and all these things listed in the Shastra. If you are a parent, if you are a mother, a father, a teacher, on and on, you must be able to deliver those who are dependent on you. So, how do you do that? The only way you can do it is by trying to convey the message of Gurudev and having faith that that message will come through. Even though we're not perfect in doing it, because we have that element. At least we try to have that element of sincerity. That's what the Guru sees, and the Guru conveys. The potency of the Guru descends and touches the hearts of those who depend on us. So reside always in Braja, within the heart's devotion, namely, you must accept this nectar of instruction, this upadesha. So again, reside in Braja. Saraswati Thakur is telling us the highest ideal. And the highest ideal, like I said, is the source of all of our inspiration. And by hearing about the highest ideal, we can kind of center ourselves on the experience that we've had and are having in relation to Krishna consciousness, in relation to our destination. And also we have to understand our relationship, of our development in Krishna consciousness with our continued position in the, within the modes of material nature. And pray to Sri Guru that we can take that transcendental realization, that transcendental experience, and utilize it within within that area of our conditioning to engage ourselves, to push ourselves, and to purify ourselves. And in that pushing and purifying, trying to render service, we'll grow. And gradually begin to see that behind the conditioning, even though it's at first glance it's Maya, it's the illusory energy, but at a deeper vision, it's Krishna helping us. It's not always easy to see that, but we can meditate on that, and it's very helpful. So Saraswati Thakur is saying, remember Braja, remember that all is coming from that. And of course we hear from Srila Sridhar Maharaj and Srila Gurudev that these things at the current time, and we all know we're conditioned. We may not know how much we've got in devotional life or anything, but we know we're conditioned. And as long as we're conditioned, we keep those pastimes on our head, and we don't, try to consume them like some kind of extension of our desire for sense gratification, which is what really it is. If you jump into it without it being a necessity for your service, then you're taking it for your enjoyment. And that's really not bhakti, it's really not devotion. It's at best a shadow of devotion. And at worst, it's heavy sahajism that brings people, even at first it may not be visible, it brings people to the precipice of like the slippery slope of sahajism. And from one acceptance of sahaja notions, I want the bhav, I'm feeling the bhav. Look at Upadesh Amrita, look at Rupa Goswami. What does he tell us? You don't feel anything like that until you clear all your anarthas. What you're feeling is like a beginning taste that's heavily filtered by material conditioning. When you start to feel bhava, that means you're entering into a pastime in relation to Krishna. And that's not possible with any kind of material anarthas left. So, it's just, it's very clear, but it becomes hazy based on personal motivation. I want the bliss. I want to get this. I had so much bliss with Prabhupada, but now I'm not getting it, so I go for that. Anyway, I say that a lot, but it's important to understand for ourselves as disciples of Srila Gurudev and his successors, and Srila Guru Maharaj, and some of us also Srila Prabhupada. It's important to understand how this works, and that we are in a position where we have to give up our anarthas and struggle with the illusory energy, and in that way develop in Krishna consciousness. It's the second stage. We are just barely entering into it, because when you're fully situated in the Madhyama Adhikari stage, you can't fall down. You begin to be connected. It's written like that. So we're beginning to enter from Kanishta, and we're trying to develop ourselves and situate ourselves in the stage of Madhyama. And then from that stage, we cast off all our anarthas, enter into Nishta, and begin to develop bhava and the symptoms of a resident of Vrindavan and of an Uttama Adhikari. Okay, so we are on 22, but we should go to Chaitanya-charitamrita. Yeah, I almost forgot again and dived into this. Next one is by Rupa Goswami again, and a huge explanation by Saraswati Thakur again. We'll just give a little taste so we can think about it. Well, Saraswati Thakur is giving the highest position of, above Vaikuntha is Mathura, and so on, all the way up to the highest abode of love divine is the banks of Radha Kunda. So that's how it is. That's reality. And somehow or other, by the grace of our gurus, we get to, walk in these places and get the blessing coming from these places. Even though we carry with us so much offense, but still, by the mercy of our gurus, are so merciful, because if we had to deal with justice, we wouldn't be in very good shape, because we're conditioned, and our minds, everything else, generally is distracted. Of course, that depends on the degree of focus in your service, but generally it's the case. Until we're pure, we're distracted in different degrees by the material energy, and according to the system of justice, we make so many mistakes, and you're liable for those mistakes. But by the grace of Guru, we get delivered. It's not that we should take advantage of that. We always have to try and pray and try to give ourselves to our Guru as best we can, and in that way they will shower us with mercy. But the point is, you have to try. You can't just say, well, I can do anything and I'll get the mercy. It doesn't work like that. So Jai Shri Papan Jivanamritam Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Now, Shri Chaitanya-charitamrta Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Chaitanya-charitamrta. Adi-lila. We're just starting chapter 2. We didn't get very far. We got to Sri Chaitanya Prabhu Bande. Oh, wait a minute. My mistake. It's chapter 3. Okay, there we go. Adi-lila, chapter 3. So chapter 2 we've completed. And that is the description of the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, as the source of all the universes. And some indication at the end that self-same Sri Krishna comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not only directly as Krishna, but also with the, as it's said later, the heart and halo of Srimati Radharani. He comes to experience the feelings of a devotee, and the highest devotee with the deepest feelings is, of course, Srimati Radharani, and he takes on that covering to experience the depth of the love, which otherwise even the Lord can't understand. Even that statement is just mind-blowing. How can God, who's infinite, all-knowing, not understand something? That just goes to show the power of devotion. We read it conquers even Krishna. But in Mahaprabhu we see it really does. It really does. So, the power of devotion is particularly present in Mahaprabhu, in his descent, and in the conveyance of, the Maha Mantra. He's coming as the Yuga avatar, but it's even more than that. So naturally, in the conveyance of the Maha Mantra, it's not as though he, conveys the Maha Mantra as the Yuga avatar, and it doesn't have anything to do with the other aspect of descent, his descent. Of course it does. There's added beauty and potency in his conveyance of the Maha Mantra, even though we have, the 20 years where he's preaching and the 20 years where he's relishing the high pastimes. Still, Mahaprabhu is, blue Sri Krishna, who's golden color, because he's covered with the mood of Srimati Radharani. So that devotion, that deep devotion that conquers even Krishna, is even there present in the Maha Mantra given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's particularly potent in this particular age, because we have the direct descent of Krishna as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as opposed to an indirect Lila avatar. We don't really understand that, but we're told it's like that. And we can describe, reasons that it's like that. But really, to know that, we have to experience that through the Maha Mantra, through the chanting of the Maha Mantra, and remembering Lord Chaitanya, which here Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj is giving us the opportunity to. Okay, so this is text 4, I believe. He's just told us that he's now going to give the meaning of the 4th verse. The 4th of, I think, initially 14 verses that are given. I think so, 14. And so now he begins. May that Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Shachi Devi, be transcendentally situated in the innermost core of your heart, resplendent with the radiance of molten gold. He has descended in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most elevated mood of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. So, inconceivable, but Mahaprabhu is doing this. We hear from Kaviraj Goswami he's doing this. We hear from our gurus he's doing this. We feel the sense of reality when we see our gurus in their, transcendental glory, in their mood of devotion and dedication. We can understand that this kind of deep potency of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there, and is, because it's present in them, and they're attempting to give something to us, we know that, we can understand they're giving us that, which is, inconceivable. It's that kind of mercy for someone who's like messed up and dirty with the material energy. It's amazing. And because Krishna has, we're all, like it's been described in the book that Goswami Maharaj put together, the speeches, talks of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, the loving search for the lost servant. And so the Lord is here as Mahaprabhu, is coming down to seek after us and, to touch us with the feeling of that transcendental conjugal love, and begin to stir our heart with, the beginning connection of it. It's coming down from him in full purity and full potency, being conveyed by our gurus in a similar way, and, received by us, according to our, opening of our hearts and our sincerity, and, received by those who we speak to according to their, desire to surrender, conveyed by the guru. That's, that we have to, I think, clearly understand. That is stimulus for our preaching. Otherwise, sometimes we think, oh, well, I'm not very pure, I don't have any potency to preach. but everyone does. And, you know, it can't be said that, oh, you shouldn't preach because you don't know what our conclusions are and so many things like that. Everybody who has some connection with Sri Guru, even those who don't have Diksha connection, have some sense of the reality that's coming down and sense of the feeling of the transformation that is occurring in their hearts and can give it to others. So, you know, the gift of our Guru should not be, you know, held hostage within our hearts. Okay, so the Sanskrit. Anar pita chiram chirat karuna yavatirnaha kalo samar paritum unatojola rasam swabhakti sriyam. You know this?
Yes, famous verse.
Wow. Hari purata sundara juti kadamba sandipitaha sada hridaya kandare spuratu va shachinandanaha. May that Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost core of your heart, resplendent with the radiance of molten gold. He is descended in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most elevated mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. This is a quotation from Vidagdha Madhava, a drama compiled and edited by Srila Rupa Goswami. So these, the essential points of the high books, like Vidagdha Madhava, like Lalita Madhava, are given by Kaviraj Goswami. And we should be happy with that and satisfied with that. That's what's given to us now, what is necessary for us to imbibe in our consciousness for development of our service. And, you know, beyond that, the necessity for service in actual relationship with the servitors of the servitors of the servitors of the Lord will come in due time and be manifest before us automatically. Okay, so beautiful poetry by Rupa Goswami. Now, text 5. Lord Krishna, the son of the king of Braja, is the supreme Lord. He eternally enjoys transcendental pastimes in his eternal abode, Goloka, which includes Brajadham. So, Kaviraj Goswami, underlining the high position of Sri Krishna. Now, in relation with that last verse, how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is bringing this Dham down with him, and not as Krishna alone, like in the Bhagavad Gita, but Krishna with the mood of Srimati Radharani. So it's like the real thing, the real abode. And because of that potency, because of the potency of devotion and the natural giving feeling that's contained in devotion, Mahaprabhu is, naturally filled with the spirit of giving, and enhanced even in that spirit of giving by the presence of Nityananda Prabhu. It's just quite amazing. His eternal associate, Balaram, who brings about the whole function, the whole arrangement of the transcendental realm. So, as Nityananda Prabhu, he facilitates the deepest mercy coming from Mahaprabhu. So Srila Prabhupada tells us that the previous chapter has established that the son of Brajendra is the Supreme Personality of Godhead with 6 opulences. And that the Lord lives in the spiritual planet known as Krishna Loka, and those pastimes are aprakrita, unmanifested, aprakrita, to those who are within prakriti, the power of the control of the material energy. So aprakriti, they're unmanifest to us. And of course the Mayavadis think that means they're never present. But we know by the grace of our gurus that aprakrita means not present in the material world, but fully present in the spiritual world. So Lord Krishna is always present everywhere, but when he is not present before our eyes, he is said to be aprakrita, or unmanifested. Okay.
So you can say aprakrita about those things only when you are in the material world. Because in relation to material world is aprakrita.
Yeah, that's what appears, yeah. These are unmanifest pastimes in relation to the perception of those who are not connected with him. Aprakrita. Ka. Because of course the T's with a dot underneath are different than the T with no dot. T with no dot is pronounced with the tongue behind the teeth. T with the dot underneath is pronounced with the tongue back above on the palate. This is what we learn in Sanskrit. Okay, text 6. Once in a day of Brahma, he descends to this world to manifest his transcendental pastimes. So, once in a day of Brahma means like billions and billions of years. So it really is inconceivable to our small brains to understand this. Because, we can't hardly comprehend anything that's like beyond 100 years or beyond the duration of the life of this body. It's even like, mind-boggling to think that life goes on and that we take another body. And, though we've been talking about it for so long, it's a natural thing for us. But really, that conception, for those who have no vision of the eternal spirit, it's just mind-boggling. What to speak of the day of Brahma, which is millions and billions of years, billions and billions of years. So he descends. And so we're in that particular age where he descends. What? How is it possible? Really? I mean, the skeptics will say, oh, well, that's just written, so it looks like it's so special. But, we understand because of the perceived stature of Kaviraj Goswami, as conveyed to us by our gurus, we understand that Kaviraj Goswami's vision is way beyond our own vision and can actually see how this works. How this special descent actually has come, and it actually is real. Kaviraj Goswami has spent years setting down Chaitanya-charitamrta to convey to us that this is actually real. These are not just stories. This is not just some philosophy. But this is like a real thing that has to do with incredible stuff, even in relation to the duration of the whole, material universe. It's incredible. And we get to read it. When will we realize that the potency of that? It's there. We just have to, begin to enter into it. What does Bhaktivinoda Thakur say? Kabe habe bolo seidin amar. When will that day come when I'll actually realize, wow, Kaviraj Goswami is giving us the real deep thing right here in the sound vibration of his verses, imbued with the potency of Nityananda Prabhu, all about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is talking all about Srimati Radharani and her love for the ultimate personality, Sri Krishna. Okay, so it's Bengali now. Brahmara eka dine tino eka bara. Avatirne hana karena prakrita vihara. Brahmara, Brahma. Ekadina, one day. Ekabara, one time. Avatirna, he descends. Prakrita, manifest. Vihara, pastimes. Karana, Kara, performs. So text 7. We'll do one more text. This time is passing. We know, this is text 7, we know that there are 4 ages, yugas, namely Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. These 4 together comprise one Divya Yuga. Now Kaviraj Goswami is going to tell us about the span of time, the duration of Brahma's days, and so we can have a contextual understanding of, just how fortunate we are. Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali, Chari Yuga, Jani. So we know, Jani, these 4 ages, Chari Yuga, are Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. And then, Chari Yuga, in the 4 ages, Dibya, divine, Eka Yuga. So those 4 ages comprise one Divya Yuga, divine Yuga, the 4 ages combined together comprise one Divya Yuga. Sometimes it's called a millennium. And it's, I forget the calculation, but each Yuga, as it descends from Satya Yuga, becomes less and less in terms of the passage of time. But all told, it's many, many millions of years. So in the next verse, we'll understand how many yugas constitute one Manvantara, and then how many Manvantaras are constituted in a day of Brahma. How many billions of years. So the particular Manvantara that we have now is I can't remember. The Manu, I'm sorry, I can't remember. Anyway, maybe Prabhupada will tell us in the next verse. I'll try to look it up. And also the particular position that we're in the day of Brahma. It's something like 11 or 11:30 in the morning of Brahma's day, something like that. But I'll try to look it up so we have it for tomorrow. Jai Sri Chaitanya-charitamrta ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Sri Chaitanya-charitamrta Acharya Brinda ki jai. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.